All right. Let's do it. So this week, today, we are starting a new build here. Last week, we finished off the niche AI video generator. So this week, we're switching gears over into n8n. Was just scarfing down some lunch real quick in between meetings. So let's start this thing off. All right. We're going to jump straight into building this agent. So the first node I'm going to use here, I'm going to build a Telegram bot just because a lot of us YouTubers online, we're using Telegram because it is so easy to build these bots and build stuff out in n8n with Telegram. So I'm going to search for the Telegram trigger node. This will be on message. Selecting any of those options doesn't really matter because we can set our trigger on preferences right here. So I've got a credential set up to a bot, but I think I want to create a new bot just for this build, just to keep things separate. How's it going? Rohit, don't know how to say your name. I am streaming in my school community on Telegram right now, and I'm streaming on YouTube. So whichever you prefer. Rohit, don't know how to say your name. Sorry about that. We'll chat soon, but definitely saw you join the group recently. Welcome in. All right. Man, I was just eating some lunch and I've got my brain all messed up now. So on trigger, I like to, so when I'm using the Telegram trigger in n8n, I like to have the on message trigger, and then I also add the callback query trigger. Sometimes I add a few other things in here, but these two are going to be the main ones. Sometimes I do a channel post, but just by habit, I add these. I always add these two triggers, the on message and on callback query. This is basically when you push a button in the Telegram bot, you can get that callback. So I think I want to create a new bot for this. So let me pull up Telegram in a new window. I have the desktop version, but I'll pull up the web app so we can see it. All right, so maybe. Cool, so let's create a new bot. I've got BotFather open. You can see all the stuff I've been doing with Isla over here. This module, this agent I'm building right now is actually part of Isla already, or sort of. I'm going to be refining it, just kind of figuring out some new stuff today. So this will be Man, I got something stuck in my throat. Let's call this the live stream bot. Live stream test. Okay. Live stream test bot. How about that? Good enough. Cool. We'll grab this access token, create a new credential, throw that access token in there. Let's name this live stream. Live stream test bot. All right, so let's just give it a test here. I'll jump over to the bot. Start it up. I could have tested that one. Say hey. Cool, so we got some output coming through. Again, building bots, Telegram bots in n8n is by far the easiest messaging bot system that you can use, I guess. I haven't really found another way to do really easy chat bots for testing, or if you have Telegram, you use Telegram. This is by far one of the easiest tools to use in n8n. By the way, anyone following along in the YouTube stream or in the school group, you can always ask me questions. Happy to answer anything. If you're watching along and something comes up, always happy to answer questions. You can type in the chat on YouTube, and you can type into the Telegram chat for the school group. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to bring across the text from Telegram and probably the audio messages from Telegram. There's a lot of us creators on YouTube making these agents right now. n8n is so hot right now, and these agents are already getting a sort of standard procedure on how you put them together. So I'm going to add a set node and link in the text coming from the Telegram trigger. I'll call this all text. Go ahead and test it. Great, got text coming through. Now I'll attach this to the agent. This will be the tools agent. And let's connect the text from all text. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting and fun and tricky. Building out these agents is coming up with the system prompts, the system message, so that this agent will behave the way you want it to and use these tools. So the way that I like to prompt, I have a couple prompts that I could probably just plug in here and copy and paste, but I want to build this one out from scratch. It helps to not recycle information sometimes, especially when you're doing a repeat build. So I've built this one 3 times already, or 2 times already. This is the 3rd time. And every time you do it, every time you build it, if you're doing repeat builds, do little things differently. And you might come up with different workflows or different results, and it may surprise you. But if you just copy and paste things like system messages, all these prompts, it's great to copy and paste. It saves you all that work, especially if you know a prompt is working exactly the way you want it. But sorry, for this live stream, for these testing builds, if you're just experimenting, don't copy and paste prompts you already have. the whole nature of rebuilding for testing purposes is to test. So I'm going to reconstruct this prompt. So the way that I like to do my prompt engineering is just having a chat with ChatGPT. So basically, let's outline in ChatGPT what we want to do. So I need a system message for an AI agent node in n8n. I need it to act as a prompt for the agent to perform tasks and use tools. I don't know. Perform tasks and use tools. We'll check the current time using built-in function. Then we'll have the ability to store memories. Making this up as I go. I've created these prompts already, like I said, but I'm making this one up, this prompt for ChatGPT to write me a prompt as I go. I have the ability to store memories about anything, maybe. Then recall memories. And so it's going to use some tools. It's going to use the Supabase tool. So let's add in the agent will use 2 Supabase tools. 1 to store memories. And 1 to get memories. If nothing else, I like creating my prompts this way because I can type and leave all my misspellings in there, and ChatGPT will, if nothing else, correct my spelling in the prompt. Let's say the tone of the agent will be professional, but sweet and friendly. See what we get. You're an intelligent, friendly AI assistant designed to perform tasks while maintaining a warm, professional tone. Analyze requests, determine the appropriate tools to use and execute tasks accordingly. Probably we can tune that up. Context awareness, check the current state. Let's change that up. Memory management, you store and recall relevant memories using 2 Supabase tools, store memory and retrieve memory. So we can actually name our tools these exact words, or change it up. Tasks, gosh, can't read today either. Task execution, you process requests accurately, leveraging available tools to complete each task effectively. So that's kind of a given. We can build that in. Behavior guidelines, maintain professional, sweet, friendly tone, be proactive in recalling. Okay, so if a memory is missing, gather the necessary details before proceeding. Okay, let's say make sure to ask the user clarifying questions before calling tools if the agent is unsure of the user's meaning. Make sure to ask the user clarifying questions. Okay. Let's throw this in here. Task execution, we can change that. Always clarify ambiguous requests. Okay. The memory is missing or outdated. Gather necessary details. We can try that. Not sure what that will do. Be proactive in recalling. So this line right here, be proactive in recalling, we can say, make sure to call the, what is this, retrieve memory tool. The retrieve memory tool before replying or storing new information. Check the stored memories to ensure duplicate memories are not created. You could even say, if a memory is similar, if a stored memory is similar to a user's new input, the agent should not customize the new information. I'm not sure how to say this. We can see what happens. Customize the new information. It should possibly ignore the memory and reply something like, I already know that here is the info, something like that. Let's add that to our prompt, and I think that should be fine enough to give it some tests. We'll have to change this. I'm not sure how to write this. I'm just going to add the date and time manually with that n8n function. Cool. So memory handling. Retrieve relevant memories before replying or storing new information. Check for duplicates. If the user provides information similar to an existing memory, do not store it again. That's great. A duplicate is found, acknowledge it with a response like, I already know that. Here's the info you shared earlier. We can tailor that response. Only store unique information to avoid redundancy. Okay, so behavior guidelines, here's the tone. Be proactive in recalling, clarify ambiguous requests, confirm actions. Okay, so I'm going to leave out the example workflow from our system message. The AI agents don't necessarily like those example workflows. It just confuses them. So you want more straightforward prompting in the agent. Let's give that a shot. I'm going to jump back over to n8n, finally get our system message in here. So I'm going to expand this out, click on expression, click the little expand button, and paste this prompt in here. System message for AI agent node. This is redundant. The AI agent knows this is the system message. You're an intelligent and friendly AI assistant designed to perform tasks efficiently while maintaining a warm professional tone. Let's remove that line. That's extraneous information. You're an intelligent and friendly AI assistant. We can probably remove that. Your role is to analyze requests, clarify uncertainties, retrieve stored memories, and execute tasks with precision. Let's say and most importantly, I don't know how the agent actually handles these semantics. Like, this is the most important part, right? If you use that kind of language, I don't know how the agent handles that. But I'll just say, most importantly, store and retrieve memories. Let's say memories about anything. The user inputs. About anything the user inputs. That might be overkill or too much. Core capabilities. Let's add some hashtags here. I saw somewhere that this is good practice to add some hashtags just for, it's like, HTML formatting. It just gives stress to the agent saying this is the most important thing. H2 is less important. H3, H4 less important. Not sure if that is relevant either, but doesn't hurt. So context awareness. Instead, well, let's see. Check the current state using the built-in n8n functions. Check the date and time. Say the date and time is date and time is, I'm going to use this function. Oops. Inside double curly braces, you can use these built-in functions. So we're going to use the now, $now. That gives us the date and time. That's standard UTC, I believe, not sure. But if you want to format that time, you can do dot format. That'll give you this function, and you can specify the formatting you want. So if it's just the date, year, month, day, you get that. You can add time, stuff like that. So if you want to format that, I don't really need to, because I don't actually need to know the date and time. The agent does. So we can leave it at that. And cool, so memory management. Let's say you interact with Supabase tools for memory handling, retrieve memory. We can try that. You know what? I think I want to put it into more plain language. So let's say call the store, put an underscore here just to name this tool. Call the store memory tool to save new memories and remember details and facts. Based on user input. Summarize, let's see, summarize the user's input into a one-line sentence. To be stored in a Supabase database. Summarize the user's input into a one-line sentence to be stored into a Supabase database. All right. Let's say the same thing here. For get memory, call the get let's specifically say tool as well. Store memory tool, get memory tool, or retrieve memory tool, whatever we wanted to call it. Retrieve saved memories. That's the thing with using these agents. It's really hot right now. You know, agents are going to be so big in the coming weeks and months. And in 2025, these agents and agentic workflows are definitely going to be taking over, but it's still very much prompt engineering. You have to tell the agent exactly what you want it to do. And, you know, it's much better than trying to code or trying to program something, but it still needs to behave exactly the way that you want. And sometimes, especially using chat models, I'm already doing this. I'm already just assuming the chat model is going to know more than it does, and it usually does, but the agents don't quite know more than you think. You have to be very specific with them. However, if you're too specific, it's going to also have a chance of doing the wrong thing. So you got to let it kind of do its thing, but you got to give it the exact way that it should do its thing, if that makes sense. So definitely very much still prompt engineering with these agents, figuring out the best way to prompt. So during this live stream, you know, anyone coming onto the stream, I'm basically just recording myself going about my workday. This is what I do, just making stuff, figuring stuff out, rebuilding it, refiguring it out, finding the best answers to certain things, finding my own workflow, and then sharing that with everyone. So basically just stumbling around. I think some of the best ways to learn something, I think my favorite way to learn anything is to watch an expert at something fail at that thing. Watching an expert fail definitely is the most inspiring thing to me. Pushes me to keep going, pushes me to see, you know what, this is hard stuff. I am doing a good job and I want to keep doing it. So that's what we're doing here. I have the link to my school community in the description of this live stream. I have that in the link to all my videos. You can check out all my YouTube videos, see what I got going on, and see if you would like to join the community where we all do this stuff. We're working together, building cool stuff, figuring stuff out. So that is what I'm doing today, figuring this one out. So let's call the get memory tool and retrieve saved memories. Call the get memory tool to retrieve saved memories. To answer the user's questions and I don't know, we'll say draft messages. Cool. So let's take a look at this line here. Clarification before action. If a request is unclear, ask clarifying questions before calling any tools. Let's say ask the user clarifying questions before calling any tools to ensure accuracy. And we'll say always call the get memory tool to check stored. Always call the get memory tool to check stored information before answering. All right, so basically just trying to rewrite here what we kind of already had from ChatGPT, but make it in language that sounds better to me. And if I was given instructions how I would read it, I know that the AI agent isn't going to be a human and not read instructions the same way. But again, just testing different stuff with these agents. So memory handling workflow, retrieve relevant memories before replying to stored or storing new information. So that's basically what we got here. We can leave that in there. Kind of as a redundancy. So check for duplicates. If the user provides information similar to an existing memory, do not store it again. If a duplicate is found, acknowledge it with a response like, I already know that. Here's the information you shared earlier. We can tailor this fun little line here. Only store new, unique information to avoid redundancy. Okay, now here we got some behavior guidelines. Maintain professional, sweet, and friendly tone. Always retrieve memories first before proceeding. So that's kind of a third redundancy here. Let's maybe take that one out. Be proactive in recalling relevant information to enhance your responses. I like that. Clarify ambiguous requests. Confirm actions when appropriate to ensure user expectations are met. So that sounds pretty good as a prompt here. Cool. So that's my prompt engineering technique. In fact, I'm going to go back and remove these, see what happens. Cool. So we've got our AI agent, got her little brain in there. Again, I'm building out a personal assistant or school group assistant that is also my personal assistant. I'm going to save my workflow here and just kind of take a peek at those builds. I've got this bot called Isla, and she is going to be handling all of my school tasks, answering questions. She's going to have access to all the knowledge that I've created in, since starting this whole automation business. She'll be able to answer, basically, hopefully, the way that I would answer any questions and give users access to lots of information available on the school community. Same thing here. I've got a YouTube version of her, and I've got a personal version of her right here. And so I'm building out, all of these different workflows are ultimately going to be combined into one megabot. So this memory tool, this is going to be part, kind of a plug and play tool you could add in. I'll definitely have the workflow available for download in the school community. This is going to be a plug and play. You can take this memory agent and plug it straight into your own agent as a, calling a different tool, calling a different workflow tool, you'll be able to add this memory bot straight into your own bots and workflows, or agents and workflows. So let me just go ahead and name this workflow. I already confused myself with all my different versions. So this is the live stream memory bot. Cool, let's keep at it. Chat model, always use OpenAI. That's what I have, that's what I use. There's some really cool models. LLMs kind of ramping up their game, but I'm still using OpenAI for everything. I just haven't found any use cases to move on. So we use OpenAI chat model for the memory node. Let's add the window buffer. I've been messing around with Postgres, but ultimately using a Supabase database as the actual memory tool. That's kind of the whole point of this bot. So for the conversational memory, I'm just going to use the window buffer, and we can store information, any information we need, via the Supabase tool nodes we're building in. So I can leave the context at 5. I like to put it at 8. We'll probably need to run this through so we can get that working. So let me just test this. Disconnect this for now. Jump over and test. Turn the window buffer memory back on, and let's define this below. So for the key, I actually want, let's see, we're going to add in the voice text too. So let's just grab the alt text from the edit fields node. In fact, I'll click out of this node and just rename this to alt text. Cool, let's add the Supabase tools. So I'm gonna add a new tool node, type in Supabase. We don't want the vector store, we want the tool node. I got my credentials set up. So let's see, we want to create a row, find my table here. Let's see, and jump over there, see what I got. Table, I need to make a new table. So I'm going to create a new table in my project here. Let's call this live stream memory bot test. Bob says my screen is frozen. Which screen? Screen capture is frozen. Let's take a look at that. Thanks, everybody. Is my camera working? Just the screen capture is frozen? Let me try and restart my screen capture. How's that? We can see you, black screen. All right, there's going to be a little bit of lag. I'll wait a couple minutes or a couple seconds. I got like a 2-second latency on the YouTube stream. Working, great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm using this app called Streamlabs. I found Streamlabs a long while ago when I was getting into Twitch streaming as an artist. I was an art teacher. Long story short, I was an art teacher, so I was streaming on Twitch a little bit, and I found this capture tool, but sometimes it'll freeze the screen share. It hasn't happened in a long time. I thought they fixed it, but here we are. So thanks. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. So all I've done here, I've come into my Supabase back into n8n. I've created a Supabase tool. So I'm just going to wait a couple seconds to see if that comes over. Okay. Looks like we're going through. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, great job, team. You guys are awesome. All right, so back in the agent here, all I've done is configure the window buffer. Don't know when it cut out, but I got the window buffer memory going. I've got the key coming from the all text node. So I just linked in the all text right here. Just like so. And I changed the context window length to 8. That's going to remember the 8 previous interactions. So added the Supabase tool. Supabase tool, I've got my credential here. I'm trying to find my table, but I don't actually have a table set up yet in this particular project. So I'm going to go jump into Supabase and create a new table. And we'll name this live stream memory bot test. Yeah, hopefully the screen share didn't freeze too long ago. It looked like it froze not too far back. So you guys can let me know how far back it was, but hopefully not too far. So creating my new table here, this is the table name. I want to add a column. Let's call this memories. Memories, and this will be text. That's fine. Click save. Great. So there's my new table. Let's jump back into n8n, see if we can find this table. Refresh. Livestream memory bot test table. There it is. All right. So for data to send, let's define below. I'm just going to probably just going to need the memories field input. I don't want to input really anything else. But as an example, you could store the username, you could store, the chat ID, everything from Telegram coming over. You can store relevant to every single memory that comes in here. In fact, let's just go for that. Let's do that. Let's jump back into Supabase. Let's add a new column. Let's make this username. We could even do the Telegram username separate from the user's name. And this will be, let's just make this text. And we can store Telegram chat ID. Chat ID is going to be number. Let's do a I don't know. I don't actually know. I just did numeric. Cool. We can refresh this again. and bring in all of the relevant fields. So we've got username. I'll probably add in just the text name, not the actual Telegram username. If a Telegram user's username is set to private, this actually won't show up. So I'm going to use the name here. First name, last name. Let's add, in fact, we can probably do this a little bit better. We can definitely add it in precisely here, but what I'm going to do for the memories, we can try this out both ways. What I'm going to do for the memories, so in the memories field, for the field value, we're going to add a function here. Let's do expression, add in 2 curly braces, and we're going to say from AI, $ from AI. This function will actually smartly take from the AI the information that we need. So let's say memory, and we're going to be creating a row. So this is the store memory tool. So this function, when you're adding functions in like this, you type in the curly braces. I'll just do it again. You type in curly brace, it'll automatically pop up with the suggested functions, and some of these suggested, this is the JSON from the other nodes. We can grab all that information like that. So you don't necessarily have to drag and drop. You can come in here and actually type it in. But I'm not a coder, so drag and drop is what I do. However, this method right here from AI, super valuable because it's gonna, the agent is gonna smartly assume things that we want. For example, memory. Got to name it memory on inside of quotes. Memory, and then we can put a description. I'm basically just following this key right here, this this tooltip, if you will. We need the key, so we're creating a key called memory, and it's going to assume what that might be. Then we'll give that a description, and based on this description, it'll have more context on what we're trying to talk about. So let's just say the one sentence, we need to put this in quotes as well. One sentence memory based on the input So now it'll smartly assume what we want to go into this memories field and write it out for us. The agent will actually fill in this information. So we can do that same thing for the name. We can just say, add first name, add last name. It's going to assume and smartly fill in that information that it thinks we want, right? So we can do that. I have it manually being set right here. We can try that first. So let's give it a shot. I think that's all we need. Username and memories. What else did I put in here? The chat ID, Telegram chat ID. So let's add that. Add the field. And we want the Telegram chat ID. This will be the number, and we can grab that from the chat right there. Cool. So before I click out of here, just double check. So the tool description, this is something we could do, setting the tool description manually. I found that for the Supabase tool, setting automatically and using from AI functions It works really well. So just keeping it set to automatically. We don't have to define what the tool is, but I do want to name the tool. This is our store memory. Store memory tool, right? That's what we named it. I'll go back into the agent, double check. Store memory, store underscore memory. Store underscore memory. Cool. So we've got that going on. Let's test it out. Let's see what happens. Click test. I'll jump over to Telegram and I'll say, just to prompt it, remember now it's not going to respond back. I haven't added the Telegram response node, so it won't respond back with anything, but let's see what happens. So it's went to the store memory tool, which is great. Let's jump over to Supabase and see what we got. There's our memory. The user's name is Kirk, from username Kirk Hartman with Telegram chat ID right there. Pretty cool. Just double checking. I'm checking all you guys in the chat, see if I'm missing anything. Geesh. All looks good so far, I think. Cool. So I love when stuff just works like that. First try. User's name is Kirk. That is a fantastic memory already coming in here just like that. So I'm going to jump back and move on right away. We can throw in the get memory tool. So I'm going to create a new tool. Supabase, we want the tool, not the vector store. Same credential, and for the operation, let's get many. We want to get lots of memories and compare them to what's coming in, or reference them to draft personalized message or anything like that. So let's get many from the live stream memory bot test table. And just for testing this out, obviously we can do some really cool filtering and searching, but that's when we start getting upwards of 50 records is when we should start filtering. But for now, let's just return all and provide no filtering. So that should be that, as simple as that. And we'll name this tool. This is the get memory. Cool. So before we test this one out, let's go ahead and add the Telegram reply. Telegram node, we want to send a text message. There it is. Let's see my credential. We created a new bot for this. So here's the live stream test bot. So anyone coming into the live stream right now, basically, this is what I do. I'm just going about my workday, figuring this stuff out, recording it so you guys can watch, building all this stuff out for the school community. This memory bot is essentially, it's an agent I'll have available to download for free inside of my school community. I have the link to my school community in the description of this live stream. It's in the description of all my YouTube videos. You can check out all my YouTube videos. I walk through a bunch of automations. I build them out step by step, walk you through them. They're all free on YouTube. You can check that stuff out. And this one in particular is going to be a sort of plug and play memory bot that you'll be able to use in your other agents. Instead of a Telegram trigger right here, we could add the execute from workflow trigger. I'll go into this more when I finish this one off, but we want the, not this one. We want this one when executed by another workflow. And so if this was your trigger node, that means your other bots, your other agents can call this agent as a separate tool in its entirety and use this memory system inside of your other agents, inside of your other bots, and inside of your other builds. So that's where I'm going with this one. I'll make this one available for download, but of course, building it out with me, on the live stream, you could watch the video, build it out together. I'll also be recording a simplified step-by-step how-to. Step-by-step how to build this one. I should be finished with that video. Again, my time frames are always messed up because I'm always busy and it always takes me longer to do things. But I should have that video at least recorded by the end of the week, hopefully up by Saturday. And that is the video on step-by-step how to build this exact bot. Cool. So Telegram response. We got my Telegram live stream test bot selected. We're going to send a message to the chat ID. Now, chat ID is coming from Telegram trigger. So I'll throw the chat ID in there. And the text we want to send is coming from the AI agent. There's the output right there. Now, something I like to do, which I actually don't see many people doing as much as they should, click on under additional fields, click on add field. Oh my gosh, my arrow. There we go. And this option right here, append n8n attribution, toggle this off, and then your messages won't say message sent with n8n. Cool. Let's go ahead and test this entire thing. Test workflow. Let's jump over to Telegram. We'll say, remember, I run a school community called Digital Automation Diagram. Now we should get a response back in the Telegram chat here. And if not, we'll go check. There it is. I've noted you run a school community called Digital Automation Diagram. If there's anything else you'd like me to remember, let me know. Jump over to Supabase. Nice and refreshed. The user runs a school community called Digital Automation Diagram. There we go. So I assume with the prompt, the system message we have, it's always going to assume I'm the user or the user is the user, if that makes sense, right? So you can build this into a system that communicates with a bunch of different people, right? And keep track of who the user is based on Telegram chat ID, right? And so you could actually customize this bot to have personal conversations with each individual person that is communicating with it, right? You'll have to store all those records maybe in a Postgres storage system, or however you want to configure your Supabase. But that's definitely possible, something like that, having memory of your actual client or employee or whatever. All these interactions can be stored and have context. The bot can remember who it's talking to, right? That's the idea here. That can be built in. For now, this one's just still a simple plug and play. So let's keep testing it out. I want to add the voice functionality because I'm a slow typer. So let's jump over here and create the voice functionality. So again, there's a lot of us on YouTube. We got Zubir with AI Workshop. We got Nate Herc. These guys really dove into n8n side of things over the make.com side of things. Jack Roberts, Stephen Pope, all these guys doing really cool stuff. I've met some really awesome automators since I've been doing this. Most of them are already in the school group, already part of Digital Automation Diagram. Shout out to Kevin as well. He's an awesome dude. Joined his live Q&A call this morning in his group. But essentially, all of these little parts, essentially the how do I say, superfluous or supplementary things that these agents need are already becoming standard. There's so many people building these bots that already we're starting to find a best practices or a standard way of doing things. And all in all, n8n is not a new tool. It's been around for a while. And so the fact that more people are building these quote unquote new workflows, we're starting to find already the best way to build these particular workflows. So with that regard, with that in mind, I can build out a pretty straightforward Telegram voice converter here. So I'm going to get a file. We need to send a file ID. Let's go ahead and test. Jump over to Telegram. Whoops. And let's see. Hey, testing. Let's see if my mic works on the Telegram web app here. It should. Cool, great. So that came through. Now we got coming from the Telegram trigger. We've got a file. So we've got the audio here. I'm going to grab this file ID. Drop that in there. Say voice. For the next node, this is going to be OpenAI node, not the assistant. We want to just analyze the image. So this is just the vision node, not image, sorry, the whisper node to transcribe a recording. Use my same OpenAI credential. Audio, transcribe recording, we're going to get the data. I don't think I need to specify anything here. That's fine. Let's go ahead and run that. Got a bad request. Let's see. Okay, so what's going on here is if you get this bad request, what is coming over is not necessarily the correct file type. So let me run that through again, but before I do, I'm going to add something in here for switching out the type of message coming through. It's literally called the switch node. This is going to be, so for the switch node, it's essentially going to be like the edit node. However, we can change the conditions and change the output based on whatever comes into it. So for the first input, we can add the text. So let me rerun this. Test. Say, hey, get that to come through. From the Telegram trigger, now we have the text coming through. So we can name this text. Oh, I'm starting to get hiccups. So we can say when text is equal to the text, but that's not really going to work out. We need to say if text exists, right? That's going to be more encompassing. If there is text coming through, then perform this first route. Just brainstorming too. I've been working with the switch node so much and doing things differently that now my brain is wrapped around doing these other methods instead of these, these are pretty straightforward methods to using the switch node, but now mixing myself up. So for the output name, this is simply going to be text. Now we can add a routing rule and add in the audio. Test this again, jump over to Telegram, say testing audio. Now we've got audio coming through. So basically we can say if a file ID exists, if there is a file. So let's add and I messed up the text one already. If file ID exists, we'll run down that route. So I messed up the text one again, but we can fix that just by going into executions without having to rerun it. I'll come into the previous execution, jump into the either one, I guess, either node, find the JSON, and I'm going to copy this JSON right here. Make sure. See, now my brain is swimming. I think I might do this the other way that I've been working on. These are, like I said, pretty standard ways, pretty standard workflows now to build this stuff out this way. But I think, oh, maybe not, maybe not. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just gonna. Oh, I could have saved it. See, now I'm way ahead of myself. This is how my brain works. I start brainstorming and then blow things up and forget what I was doing. Especially on the live stream, I brainstorm too much. I just need to work on it and see what happens. So if text exists or if file ID exists, oh my gosh, I did it again. Text exists. There we go. Geesh, what's wrong with me? So now we've got our two routes. I'm going to rename this output. This will be audio. Creeping up on that hour-and-a-half mark. Everybody that's watched my live stream before, as soon as we start creeping up on an hour and a half, my brain just turns into mush. I want to finish those. I want to finish this one before that happens. So I've got my text route. We can connect that back up. I've got my audio route. We can connect that back up. We can do a little test run here, see what we get now. Since I can't postulate what's going to happen with a mushy brain, let's just test it. Say testing, send that over. And it didn't detect the audio, or that's probably an older file that came through. Let's test it again. Testing audio. If file ID exists, come down the audio output. Help me out, guys. My brain. Testing audio. Oh, okay. This would be one reason. Testing audio again. Oh my. Okay, it looks like there's a weird glitch happening with this. It's happened a couple times to me before. I'm just going to refresh. Refresh it, see if it keeps happening, then I'll explain kind of what's happening with this glitch in case it happens to you guys. Let's test it again now. Testing audio. Nope, that wasn't it. It's probably something that's so dumb. Help me out, my friends. If the file ID exists, we're going to output down the audio route. And if the text exists, we're going to output down the audio route. If I move the audio route up, it's coming through. If I move the text route up, it's coming through. So tell me what and why. I'm going to have to refresh this project. Not just refresh the page. Testing audio. Okay, that works fine. Test text. And that works fine. All right. Sometimes that little stuff like that, man, it makes me doubt my capabilities, but then find out it's just a glitch. One of the best pieces of advice I can say is you end up troubleshooting stuff like that way more than you need to. Trying to figure out what's wrong, going into the back end of the back end, looking at the data, reworking your data, trying different things instead of just saying, you know what, I am right. Let me say my program is wrong, the application is wrong. Sometimes that's one of the funny things about this stuff. I love the puzzle, the challenge of it, the puzzle nature of it. Testing audio again. Great, so everything's working fine. So what I'm going to do here, it's a little bit different than what some people do at this point. I'm going to put in a generic set tool. It's a generic set node. Let's call this one all text, because again, you know what, we could even do that coming straight from this one. I'm filibustering, is that the word? Filibustering on this because I had a really cool method I came up with the other day and I really want to implement it. But in the live stream, it might just be more troubleshooting than it's worth. So I keep teeter-tottering back and forth on even doing that. So let's not do that. And let's actually plug in this node straight into this one. And what that's going to do is, so we have our all text node already set up. So if I plug in the transcription, we're going to add that text to the all text. Now we could add it as another input field, but I'm going to add it as, so we want coming from the OpenAI node, the text. We're going to add it as just another input here. So this string will read as a simple string, and this will be essentially undefined. Nothing will get returned here when one of these triggers, when one of these is defined, right? So we don't actually need to put in separate fields. And then that, for some reason, seems to work better for me. So let's go ahead and try that out. I'll plug this into the AI agent node, and let's give this a full test. I'll even save it and flip it on. Essentially, we're done unless we need to make some tweaks. This is going to be it. So let's play with it for a second. Let's test out the audio. Remember, I have a dog named Sophie. We should get a reply and that memory stored in Supabase. I've noted you have a dog named Sophie. If there's anything else you'd like to share, remember, let me know. Great. Check Supabase. There it is. User has a dog named Sophie. We got the username and the Telegram chat ID. Cool. I'm gonna jump back over to you guys over here. Make sure my stream is still coming through. It's not frozen again. Christoph try to send text. Yeah, for whatever reason, thanks for that input. Whatever reason, I've hit that weird glitch before. It happens with, oh yeah, I told you I was going to explain it and never explained it. It happens with the switch node when you reorder the routes. And it shouldn't matter. You should, the capability is there to reorder the routes, and I do it all the time. But for some reason, sometimes I found it's a glitch or something, or maybe I'm doing something weird, order operations weird. And when you reorder the routes inside of the switch node, it's going to remember the ghost of the route, right? It was just following this route because that's where the text route was, and it wasn't actually triggering, the new route, I guess, if that's the best way to explain it. So it's, I don't know what kind of glitch or if I'm doing something weird, but it happens on the switch node when you reorder your routes. And so I could probably save this, close it out, and reorder the routes at some point. But for now, in the live stream, I don't want to mess with it. I'll just leave it at that. A glitch, sure, yeah. Yeah. The agent's going to remember all that stuff. All right, so let's give it a full go through. Try and make this. I foresee canvas design, n8n canvas aesthetic design being something. Who's got the prettiest looking workspace? That's fine. Doesn't matter. I'm getting to. All right, let's do some more. Let's remember some things. Remember that I work from home in my home office and I work solo. I do not have a team supporting me. I'm doing this all on my own, and I work 10 hours every single day. True facts, by the way. So I'm testing all of those statements and how they come through. I've stored that you work from home in your home office, work solo without a team, put in 10 hours every day. Let's check what the agent did in Supabase. Okay, great. So it came in as one line. Now, when this is recalled, it's most likely going to get recalled as one chunk. So we can say, this is something we could prompt into the agent. Say, if there are multiple things to remember or multiple memories in one sentence or something like that, add them into Supabase as different memories. Now that'll depend on how you want to organize your quote unquote memories. If you want bulk information, we can definitely do something more like that. Or if you want snippets of information, then we could most likely prompt that out. Or, parse it, filter it, iterate through it, all that kind of good stuff too. Cool, so let's add some more memories. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I moved here from St. Petersburg, Florida. So I tested 2 runs, consecutive runs right there. Let's see what happens. All right, so it ran consecutively just fine. It didn't have to come up with a reply and come back with that. So let's see what happened in Supabase. Yep, as expected. Looks good. So what I'm doing here is actually taking my next testing step. I'm taking this past a number of entries, and then obviously we'll see what happens when we put it together in a recall request. Get a bunch of notifications from somewhere. What is going on? Cool. So let's give it a shot. Let's say, what else can we say here? I don't know. Let's basic stuff. Let's have it remember some other things, not about me, right? So let's say, well, probably about me, just some fun facts. I have a best friend named Tyler. Now, one of the implementations I thought of here was, this could be used to save client information. If you're having a conversation or you have this bot in a group chat, the bot can actually recall, store information, recall information about clients. You can have, tidbits of information to make messaging and emailing a lot more personalized, stuff like that. There's so many use cases what we can do with a memory bot like this. So I'm going to start storing stuff about my friends and see what happens here. So Tyler is a boat captain. Tyler DeJong is a boat captain. I already know that. So there was a test testing that information. So without prompting it to remember anything, the bot actually went to the get memory tool, said it already knows that, and says, here's the information. Tyler is a boat captain. So I gave Tyler's last name. It's a kind of obscure last name. Let's see what happened in Supabase. So yeah, we didn't get Tyler's last name in there. Interesting stuff to play around with this. Let's try some more. My dog's name is Sophie. I already know that. Here's the information you shared earlier. You have a dog named Sophie. If there's anything else you'd like to know. And that record, that memory was not added. Awesome. So all that capability came from simply prompting the agent. Getting really good at prompt engineering, prompting your agents, not only prompting in general, that is going to be such an incredible skill to maintain, but prompting these agents, you can get a lot done agentically. And that's really where we're going to see the future of this stuff. Simply talking to this thing and it working the way that you want it to. Cool. So I have a friend named RJ Machado who has a wife named Monique. Let's see that double. Okay, looks good. Let's start asking some memories here. In fact, let me do something cool. I'm going to input a bunch of memories. Tyler just bought a new condo. Tyler owns 5 houses and he's into real estate. Tyler's main business is boat captain. Let's see what it says after that one. I know that already. Great. Look at that. That is so cool. Tyler's from North Carolina. Tyler has a bicycle, but I don't think he rides it very much. Tyler is an outdoorsy person, but he never takes advantage of the outdoors. Tyler works with hundreds of clients each month. Cool. So a little semi-rapid fire saving there. Let's see what we got. Tyler looks great. Works with hundreds of clients each month. Now here's what I want to test this kind of cold turkey with this bot. Let's say, can you draft a message to Tyler just asking how things are going? Personalize it with everything you know about Tyler. Hey, Tyler, hope you're doing well. How's everything going with you lately? I'm curious to hear about your new condo, how things are shaping up in North Carolina. So that was kind of an error there because, let's see, Tyler's from North Carolina. I don't actually think we said Tyler lives in Florida. I don't think I said that. I said I used to live in Florida. So maybe not so much of an error. Are you getting out, enjoying the outdoors more these days, or have you been busy with your clients? So, I mean, pretty amazing cold turkey test right there, minus that little problem, which it wasn't even a problem because I didn't tell the bot to remember. Let's go ahead and remember Tyler lives in Florida. Can you draft me another similar message to Tyler? Okay, so that was another test right here saying similar message to Tyler. So I was trying to give it the context that it would have from the window buffer memory, but didn't work out so well for that one. So let's just say, can you draft a message to Tyler asking how things are going? Personalize it with everything you know about him. Hey, Tyler, hope everything's going well with you. How's life as a boat captain treating you? I heard you just bought a new condo. Congratulations. It must be an exciting time for you. Also, are you finding time to enjoy the outdoors, or is the real estate hustle keeping you busy? Looking forward to catching up soon. Best, Kirk. So, ultimately, I'm sure you guys can start spinning your brains about the capabilities here with this bot and the plug and play nature of using this memory bot into, as a tool in any of your other builds. So this will keep building out in the Supabase table here. Now, obviously with Supabase, there's so much capability we can build into this. So many ways we can organize this data. That's definitely something to invest in using Supabase, is ways you can store your data. But I think that's going to close it out for this live stream today. I think we got everything we wanted to do. I'm going to be tuning up this bot, tuning up the prompts, getting the prompts acting perfectly, making sure everything's beautiful looking. Not this prompt, this prompt. And post this up available for download in the school community. I have the links to my school community in the description of this live stream. I have that link available in all of my YouTube videos. Excuse me. So I'll put this up available for download. I'll also be recording the simplified step-by-step how to build this from scratch. So that'll be a much shorter video than this live build, but if you're watching the live recording, obviously you can follow along and build this thing out from scratch as well. Now, something before we go here, something I want to test is actually removing this window buffer memory and seeing if it can still recall memories from Supabase. That was something I wanted to do real quick. So let's try that out. I'm going to remove the window buffer memory. Let's save it, unactivate it so we can test the workflow and watch it come through. So I'm going to say, I'll type to it this time. Tell me what you know about my friends. Okay, so now it has to go to Supabase to recall who I am, who the user is, and we have that in there. The user's name is Kirk, so it has to find this context and hopefully discover who me is, who I am, right? And then it has to look up all my friends' information and relate that back without any previous context in the chat. Let's give that a shot. So tell me what you know about my friends. Cold turkey test here. Let's see what happens. Cold turkey is probably not the right word for that. So great. Let's look at the workflow real quick. It went to the get memory tool, found that stuff right away, nice and easy. Where's my arrow? There we go. Went to the get memory tool, no context in the conversation, and found, here's what I know about your friends. Tyler, your best friend, boat captain, recently bought a condo. There's all of Tyler's information, and RJ Machado, who's married to Monique. So pretty cool having it go right into the get memory tool and discover all that stuff right away. Trying to think if there's anything else we can do. This was super fun to build. My brain always spins on new modules and new things to add. So I think I'm going to call it for this live stream. I think this is pretty good. Again, I'll be posting up the full how-to video on this. You can stay tuned for that, or you can, of course, watch back the lengthy, long-winded live stream as I ramble on and make mistakes. So up to you. I appreciate you guys for watching this live stream. I appreciate all of you in the school community, everybody that's joining up. It's been amazing, getting to work with more people, getting to see more workflows, more use cases, more of what people are automating, more ideas, more interacting. And this, this whole movement is just incredible to watch how fast AI is moving, AI automation, and the people in this space, you guys in the school group and you guys that follow me on YouTube. It's really cool to see what you guys are doing. I'm learning stuff all the time. So if you found this video valuable, definitely take a look at my YouTube videos. If you want to join the school community, I'd love to have you over there. We can definitely work on stuff together. I'm always active. I'm very active over there, talking to everybody, solving problems, solving any troubleshooting you might have. You can post it up and I'll answer it right there as quickly as I can. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next videos. I got a bunch coming up, but again, you probably heard I work by myself. It's me doing this stuff alone, so it does take me a little bit longer to get things done. Hopefully you have the patience and willingness to accept my teachings and everything I'm doing with this stuff. But as always, I appreciate you. I will see you guys in the next video.